pretty loose, Lynx. It's going to be pretty loose.
Thank you. Alrighty, here we go.
Here,
WLDL League of the 20th, 2025? The 2025 year?
2025 in the Hall of the Hallowed Greg.
Who's playing?
Here we go. We got No Limits going up against Greg 5, hottest new boy band of 2025.
Did you hear their latest hit single?
Actually, just looking at these banners right now, No Limits is got some banners.
I mean, if that banner went any lower, I have to like change the rating of the stream.
Yeah, it would need to be censored. Greg Five's got a good banner as well.
You know, I'm
Didn't
I'm
really
assuming that's
realize.
Greg behind that 5.
Yeah, it's always Greg. All right. Well, we get to cast this. We get to cast this great game. I'm looking forward to it, Lynx.
Yeah.
What are we gonna see?
Well, we're gonna see no limits. We've seen a lot of no limits. Particularly, we've seen a lot of a lone druid no limits.
Almost every game, I think.
Yeah, they put this lone druid mid. They run down mid, take out towers really quickly. They're super high tempo. We'll see if Greg 5 are aware, and we'll see if it gets banned.
Yeah, yeah, and if I think it's one of those things where they're very confident with it, and if it's not banned in that first phase, it may just be a first pick.
Mhm.
Well, seeing the PA ban come out, not sure how much homework has been done, and to be fair, I've kind of dropped off on the homework, and I'm not sure, if there's a specific reason for a PA, ban here, but the Lich makes a lot of sense.
I've played
Um,
PA recently, and it felt good, felt strong. I like the new facet.
yeah, changes to the dagger are pretty significant. Um, she feels like she just goes a little bit faster now, and some of those early farming issues aren't quite the same because you can hit the jungle a little bit better if your lane doesn't go quite the way you want it to.
It feels like the tempo of the game's kind of changed a little bit. That I don't know, going late game for me anyway. Games have been going longer. It feels like, and PA kind of scales well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the games are going longer typically from what I've been seeing. The map just feels bigger. Um, you know, it is bigger. But it is a team fight game now. It always has been, but now maybe more so than ever.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed like the how much fights and getting hero kills have really upped the XP and gold mounts. Like I was playing AM and I was just fully focused on farming, and I was just slightly behind because I like didn't engage in 1 or 2 fights early. I kind of felt like you need to kind of get some kills here and there just to kind of like keep up in net worth, even for like a hero like AM that just bounces around like crazy in farms.
Yeah, you almost just got to pick your moments and jump in for a little bit of, help in the team fight, but almost just a kill steal and then get back to farming. Zeus ban comes out.
Yeah, we've got
Interesting.
Abaddon banned. That one we've been seeing a lot of. DK. I feel like they've nerfed DK quite significantly.
Yeah,
Just in
I
the
think.
last B patch, I think they halved like the magic damage out of that fire facet.
Yeah, I mean the hero still has so much going for it. Um, Probably needed to see some of those nerfs happen.
Yeah, I want to see people start using some different facets of it. We've seen almost exclusively just the fire.
Yeah, I think the poison was, before the patch I was playing around with the poison facet and it was pretty cool.
Now
Situational.
it's like super armor reduction. I want to see it paired with like some heavy physical team.
Greg
Um,
5 getting the Crystal Maiden early here.
mhm.
Solid pick. So Praetor is in has joined. I know the Greg 5 played earlier this week. We were happy to cast that as well. But I believe pause 1 or mid.
I think he's
What
mid.
position is
I think he's mid.
mid?
He's known for playing these sort of unconventional mids.
Interesting.
I remember we played him once, and he ended up going AM mid and kicked my butt. But he'll
Wow.
just kind of take these like slightly different heroes and throw it in the mid lane, and he's got that sort of confidence that we're seeing of Uranium Heart last game too. I know both of those players kind of just like go face first into fights and do it quite confidently. There's the lone druid ban. That's the ban we've been wanting to see.
Wow. Well, I mean, they let it get to this stage, and yeah, I think you just have to take it out. But the limits probably can't be too surprised about that if they've had the success that they've had with it. Ooh, and Ursa as well. Wow, a couple big heroes getting taken out of the mix here.
Yeah, seems like Greg Five kind of maybe did a bit of research on them or been watching their games. Definitely taking out some of that fast, high tempo with the Ursa and the Lone Druid and the DK. Maybe forcing them to play a little bit of different game. I'm guessing No Limits is going to pick up Night Stalker. That's just a prediction that I got.
Well, it's not a bad pickup, and you can only ban so many heroes, Links. So
Mhm.
um, there's nothing worse than or the life stealer. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Flip a coin. It's going to be one or the other. But either one of these two running after a Crystal Maiden is never fun when you're in that pause 5 spot, and and all of a sudden life stealer just presses Q and
Yeah.
is on top, running on top of you. You know.
All your spells don't matter.
And you got to think here: do Greg 5 pick the Night Stalker themselves just to kind of take it out of the equation? Because
Pretty
I
good with
think
first Warlock. Night Stalker likes to get onto the back line and cancel spells, and Warlock just likes to sit in channels, so Night
right.
Stalker might kind of ruin his plan.
Well, you got to
So
think it'd be an ideal pick for No Limits right now, and if they get it, it could be pretty rough.
yeah, definitely will pair nicely with Lifestealer.
Yeah, both can be somewhat. Lifestealer can be obviously more greedy, but it's not really too greedy at all. There it is.
Oh
Well, hey,
yes, look at
we
that.
might we might know what we're talking about, Links. we might have it this time.
Nice pickup on Greg Five. That's just like
Excellent.
the pick slash deny.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like getting a pick and a ban at the same time, right?
Yeah. They're running a Lifestealer. What do you pick against a Lifestealer?
There's a few things. I'm really racking my brain because we've been playing so many games, but there was something that really stood out, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, well, I guess that's the counter to Lifestealer." And
I felt like there was a game. It was Lifestealer versus Medusa, which was the core matchup, and Lifestealer ended up kind of just standing underneath. It was the Lifestealer did decently against the Medusa, but it was a lot of back and forth. I can't
yeah, and
remember who actually won that matchup.
I think it went late, and Medusa just completely outscaled the Lifestealer. This is a game we cast. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There was an AA, and as soon as the AA blast went on top of Lifestealer, it was really noticeable how his lifesteal just suddenly was completely taken away, and then Lifestealer couldn't really stand in right click. It was interesting.
Slark can steal, and potentially do some damage. I don't know if it was Slark. There's a couple. Obviously, there's heroes that can do the job. Um, Tidehunter, big pick right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see No Limits going for this big sort of meaty lineup. They've been doing this quite regularly.
Yeah, and I think
To,
these are the meta picks, right? Like Tidehunter, you're almost seeing him. You're seeing him in pubs. You're seeing him in most games.
Mhm.
Just feels really good right now. Big meat shield that can disrupt the team fight with a massive ulti and ends up getting pretty strong. His right click is, oh, there it is. Okay.
Well,
Well, Lynx, you called that one real well.
looks like we're gonna see the matchup again.
Yeah. I think Medusa's definitely a great pick here. You're going to secure um, your late game potential.
Interesting thing. So life stealers, I forget what his passive's called, but so he does a percentage of damage based on the enemy's health.
Yep.
But right-clicking Dusa, who does not have a whole lot of health, isn't going to take a whole lot of damage from that.
Yeah, basically
Mhm.
negates the facet. Yeah, and at this point, honestly, the Undying pick kind of looks a little bit doesn't really have the heroes that it's that that he's up against that he wants to be up against. You know what I mean? Um, when I'm playing Undying, I want to have some big strength heroes that I can steal from and make that impact. Medusa, I don't know. It doesn't really. It's
Yeah,
hard to say.
Greg Five's lineup, they're not really going to be bunched up, and Undying likes when the enemy team bunches up into big groups and steals all that strength, right? And I mean, Greg Five, they've got decent ways to kill the Tombstone at this point.
Well, for sure. And Undying doesn't like being ganged up on from ranged, and that's really how you do it. You don't group up. You don't let them get the multiple decay stacks, and you just burst them down with the magic missile, frostbite, mystic snake, and that's it. Anyway, Legion, interesting. Haven't really seen anybody play Legion.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing much of it.
In this tournament, I don't know if I've seen anybody. Yeah,
They
AM.
should.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, I
Protect your
mean,
Medusa a little bit.
yeah, for sure. So I'm guessing both teams are looking at their mids right now.
Hmm.
You
Well,
could
we know
run
Queen of.
Medusa mid, but
I don't think they're going to. I think Medusa's going to be pause one. You know,
yeah,
Queen of Pain's still available. I wouldn't pick Queen of Pain if I was Greg 5, but
I'd like to see a
would
Timbersaw on the side of Greg 5. I think they'll kind of give him that mid-game tempo. Could play it
yeah,
mid. It's not the strongest role, I think, mid, but also not bad. It doesn't mind having levels, and I think it's kind of that sort of big hero in the mid game that they're looking for right now.
an interesting pick. I think it's unconventional, but as you said earlier, Prater's known for unconventional mid picks, so it'd be cool to see that come out. I'll buy you a beer if you call that one.
Yeah, it clinks.
Okay, all right.
So another good sort of tombstone killer.
Yeah,
Pumps out a lot of damage. I don't know, man. I've never felt very comfortable on Clinks. Just not my style of hero, but certainly
it.
like ever since it. I mean, I think it has strafe back now, right? Like they've made so many changes on this hero, I can't keep track.
He's been changed a lot, but ultimately, um, despite all the changes, if you boil it down, he's a ton of backline damage, um, and makes you have to consider your warding game and your vision and detection game that much more just by introducing that invis, right?
Mhm.
So now all of a sudden someone's got to do that job and has to consider that aspect of it. Either way, we should look at the hats. My
Oh
favorite part of
man.
the entire cast
Oh
is to look
no.
at these hats.
It's the Viper with legs.
Well, I've never seen that before, and it's insane.
That God, that's gonna give me nightmares tonight.
Every single one of these players right now is rocking a pretty incredible set.
Both teams very decked out.
Hats off to both sides here. Gonna give it to No Limits just because I think it's more a little more edgy, a little more. That Viper is spectacular.
You're gonna give
Gotta
it to
say.
the Viper?
I've never seen the set, and I'm a set guy. That is impressive.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. I'm Praetor's Clinks is. It's got a back. It's got like a quiver going on. I think
Yeah,
it's a
that's an
decent bow
immortal item.
too. Yeah.
It's a good one. No doubt. Like the golden fists on Night Stalker, really good.
Yeah.
That's the immortal weapon on Venge. Crystal Dog is funny to me. I think.
Yeah.
All right. I had a feeling it was going to be our pal Greg here on Crystal, so this will be fun to watch.
Is that his usual? That's his usual supportive choice.
Definitely a comfort pick from Greg on the Crystal.
All right, gonna start off with some introductions here. On the side of No Limits, on the Dire side, we're gonna have On the Ocean, played by Warlock. Bea is gonna be playing the Tide Hunter, Waste Manager on the Lifestealer. Playmate, boarding that nasty looking Viper. And Big Dad Energy, gonna show how much energy he's gonna bring with this Undying. On the side of Greg 5, the hottest boy band in 2025.
Yes.
We've got Praetor on. God, I'm trying to do like Greg names for these heroes.
Greg.
Greg
Greg
Links.
it's
Uh,
it's Greg Tour. Greg Tour on the Clinks.
Greg Tur.
You
Okay.
got
Uranium Greg on the Medusa.
very good.
We got X Greg on Night Stalker and Popo Greg on Vengeful Spirit, and of course Greg. He doesn't need any special things for his name.
No.
On the CM. Right, so both
Both
teams looking at this mid bounty.
sun's coming out.
Popo just kind
Uh,
of walks in there and snags it. Few right clicks exchanged. Pretty civil overall though. Still the mid one up for grabs. Popo gonna grab two here. Popo's ready, man. Popo's ready to get the hard work done in this game.
yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that.
All right, mid lane, you have the infamous Viper in the mid lane versus Clinks. Clink's a decent harasser, but I mean, I don't think there's many heroes that out harass a Viper. And
Nope.
Clink's quite a small like health pool as well, so hopefully he's gonna be able to sustain himself in lane versus that Viper.
Yeah, you're not really going to be able to trade with your tar bomb, um, just because of the speed advantage that Viper's going to have. And health, like you mentioned, but wow, three fairy fires on the side of Viper here with that Slaymate on the Viper.
Yeah, he came to
Yeah,
right click, that's for sure. In the top lane, we've got the Night Stalker and Venge versus the position 5 Undying and Waste Manager, the Life Stealer. What a nasty safe lane. Undying and Life Stealer.
absolutely, and already exchanging quite a bit. Got to be careful on the side of rank 5 here. Night Stalker's fairly low.
Yeah, in the safe lane, we're going to have Medusa and the CM with the Tide and the Warlock.
And they're just trading right now, but Warlock's got the sustain. Shadow Word gonna help out here. Got wands and sticks on the side of No Limits right now.
Thinking the
Ooh, just gonna
side
miss the volley
lanes.
there.
Thinking the side lanes are pretty stable. I don't see a whole lot of kill potential between CM and Medusa, especially into a Tide Hunter with a Warlock healing him. Medusa just generally kind of tanky, so CM providing that bit of arcane aura eventually, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
It's
Another
in,
decay stack coming down in the top lane on X2 here.
yeah, goes for the Voidbringer. That's it. No, Heart of Darkness. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah, it's I kind of like it when nighttime happens when it's supposed to.
Yeah, I've played this like the extra Void. Definitely don't build a phylactery because this, I think once it becomes AoE, you don't get the phylactery bit of it.
Fair enough.
I think overall it changed to phylactery as like a major nerf on this hero.
Which lane are you watching right now, Lynx? I
I'm kind of
realize we're
just,
both in client.
I'm kind of just popping around, honestly.
Okay.
Looking at health
Yeah, me too.
bars, seeing what's the lowest. Night Stalker's the lowest so far, so
He's been kept low the whole time, and that's just what Undying does to you. This is well, that's the Undying's favorite target,
yeah.
strength hero. So definitely, they're going to be kind of in a dogfight probably for the rest of this game. I think if we look at, let's have a look at last hits here.
It's like Tide's leading the way.
Interesting. Tidehunter leading the way. Wow. Yeah, he can just stand in there and take last hits at free will, basically.
Yeah, 2 levels in Kraken Shell already. Easily absorbing all those right clicks from Medusa.
Yep.
Warlock behind him to heal any damage, so they are definitely going to be in good shape in this lane.
Yeah, lots of sustain. I mean, not a whole lot to worry about.
Got Venge going on big dead energy, just a stun, but no follow-up damage there. Waste Manager walking to Popo. Popo is just going to TP out. Doesn't want to risk the walk back.
Big Dead Energy sustaining some damage there. Gonna have to kind of sit back, maybe think about a. Well, they do have this camp blocked actually, so not able to pull.
It is
And it's
nighttime
night.
now. Yeah.
It's nighttime. Yep. Oof. The double decay.
Not seeing more poison attacks coming out of Viper.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely Clinks hurts too. Like his right clicks are no joke. The tar bombs are nasty.
Yeah.
Extra 35 damage on each hit.
Yep. And 3 points in there at level 5. Absolutely what you want to do. And I think it's one of those heroes that actually can trade really well with Viper, especially now with Invis and that ability just to kind of engage, run away, hit and run a little bit. Oh, this could be really good for Clinks here.
Yeah. Lots of damage
Praetor's
going
dealing
out.
some serious damage with grabbing that illusion rune. Huge benefit. He's got him in a tough spot. Gonna try to
Oof.
TP out, and ooh, wow.
That's close. Very, very close. Nice TP by Slaymate.
Slaymate, excellent heads up.
Oh,
Sec
Safe
Half a
Flame.
second off of that, he would have been dead.
Look at this pressure that Dire Safe Lane is applying right now. It's like
Yeah,
Lifestealer
Waste
freely
Manager
just
is
like
he's standing between the two towers here and just letting the creeps do the work here with that siege push. And Popo not really able to do a whole lot here. Even if he sends the stun out, it's not going to do enough. Uh, have to disengage a bit, but look at the tower damage here.
yeah, Greg 5 like really chose some solid side lanes, I feel like.
Hmm.
Very hard pairs to kind of fight into. Gonna really
But you
slow the
do.
momentum down for
No Limits is doing, quite a good job with last hits right now. Both Tide and Lifesteal are kind of leading the pack here by about 10 to Medusa. So
I just realized I said the wrong teams. I guess no limits as the lanes that are really sort of solid and strong. But
But nobody really feels like they're doing. Oh, and there we go. I missed it. Dang.
yeah, it looks like it was a skirmish between Viper and Clinks. Right by the tower there. Raider able to get enough damage out with the tar bomb. The Viper strike was committed.
Pretty good though. I mean, almost 8 minutes before first blood. Not a bad laning phase. Probably expect to see some ganks and some rotations start to happen here a little bit. We'll see if Clinks leaves his lane. Volley shot comes out on the Warlock. He's just going to run back.
Waste Manager has already phase boots. Decent amount of movement speed. Going out on Popo.
So we get the open wounds on Popo
No
here.
stun able to
Stun
get
comes
through the
out.
rage.
Yeah, next two's just. I'm just going to take all the last hits. I'm gonna take advantage of this last minute of darkness here and get everything I can out of it before I gotta chill out a little bit.
Raider
Looks
uses
like we have some action
skeleton
happening
though.
in the bottom lane here. Big Dad Energy's actually rotated down into the bot lane. I don't know if Greg 5 knows this yet. Vlad's gonna get
Yeah, almost have Ravage on the tide. Does have a
the
soul
Bonzo.
ring. They might try to make a move here. They're pinging. Gale wants to make use of this Ravage.
I think he might just be forcing it a little bit here though.
Yeah, their catch is not super great. I mean, it's a lot of
Rock's up though, so they know they've got
yeah.
the combo, and I think the target. Oof. Ravage does come out. Medusa had some mangoes. That's going to be it. Medusa goes down. One fell swoop from Bea. Well, actually, it was the Golem, but
Yeah, no good combos on their alties there with the Ravage and the Golem. Wolf and Greg gets
yeah,
just knocked down under this tier 2.
yeah, and I think that's what No Limits wants here. Hey, we've got our ultis. Let's use them.
Yeah.
Let's combo these things up and let's take some of the cores out.
Waste Manager's moving down to the bottom lane here to support this push, just to secure this tier 1 and perfect
Great.
timing, 10 minutes. Tier 1 tower.
Very, very, very solid timings with the rotation, the couple kills, and then the objective. So they'll be able to regroup now, and looks like they're going to take the gate up. Oh, actually, they got to be careful here. Greg's got. I think they know. They're just going to get back, but
Seem like they suspect. Warlock is gonna put out the slow along with Big Dan Energy, and Popo
Oppo
in some
just kind of got
trouble.
stuck in there. Kind of got stuck in there a little bit.
Yeah, you see with the slow with open wounds and the Warlock upheaval.
Yeah, that upheaval is a massive slow, and if you're caught in there and your team's nowhere to be found, it's going to be tough. Not to mention the tombstone kind of set off in the back there.
Oh, chunking away. That's the second tier 1 down now in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely eating up some real estate. Yeah, this is going to be one of those ones where is Medusa going to get the time? It's a tough spot to be in because if No Limits keeps the pressure up and starts to roll this, Medusa won't get the time that she needs to um, eventually start to turn this thing more into the mid to late game.
Looking at net worth, yeah, both Lifestealer and Tide on top of net worth. Both,
And if you think about it, Lynx, I'm concerned a little bit here for Clinks, because if you look at the targets, Clinks tends to, benefit from picking off supports and kind of coming in invis and just kind of jumping on someone and bursting them down and getting out. But you're not really going to have a ton of luck doing that against 4 out of those 5 heroes. You're really going to be looking for the warlock.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely no sort of squishy targets to target, but he's buying the Desolator first.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
if you can get a decent timing on it and position himself well, then may be able to take out one of these strengthy heroes, but I do have a decent amount of healing on the side of No Limits. Like, it can be rough in the mid game trying to take down a enemy hero to 0.
Yeah, and I wonder what the future items are going to be. I don't know if it's really an Orchid game. I mean, I like an Orchid on Clinks, but I don't know if this is really the lineup for it.
Yeah, I don't think it can afford too much other than just going like massive, like just glass cannon damage.
Just glass cannon damage, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking too. See what's on the tide. Well, tide's going for. Well, that's a pretty tanky, right clicky kind of. The
Yeah.
morbid mask on the tide is a lot of sustain, man.
Yeah, going Vlad's. I mean, every one of those heroes gonna appreciate a Vlad's.
Yeah, big time.
I was impressed to see that Vlad's is. They used to have 5 armor on Vlad's. Now it's only down to 2. Yeah. The aura used to be like 5 total, and I think over the years they just nerfed it down to 2.
Yeah, and it was already becoming less and less of a popular item. Ooh,
Swap
gonna
there.
see that ult come out from X2. Nice move here from Greg 5.
Yeah, just
Starting to roll together here.
that's what they want to do. They don't want to give them too much space to farm up those first and second items. Pick off what they can here.
No.
Deep there. Tide does have the Ravage, so they need to be careful.
They do, and I think they may have overextended because they know night. It isn't night, and that was just the ult. Ooh, dust comes
Does
out.
see the clanks now. They're going for him. Raider in some trouble here. Getting caught out. Ravage to secure.
Popo and Vlad just sort of
Yeah, they gotta get
running
out
together,
there
but
though. The rest of the No Limits is coming. Commits the ultimate to slow them down, and they're gonna try to escape through the gate. Oof.
gonna get out. Gonna get out with
Run,
probably
run,
enough
run,
time to
run, run,
escape
run.
here.
But Waste Manager
Oh, I
has the
think
movement
Popo's in.
speed.
Yeah, Popo's in a world of trouble here,
Needs a
especially in the
swap
water.
on something.
He's
Swap out
not gonna
your
find
other.
it.
Swap out the CM.
And immediately smoke comes out from No Limits. They're looking to kind of pedal down and maybe try to catch this Medusa.
Yeah,
Medusa's got to be careful here taking these last
Deuce
hits.
here.
Tombstone comes down from Big Dad Energy.
Does have the ultimate. I think she's gonna be okay here.
I'm surprised No Limits didn't pursue that a little bit harder. I thought they might kind of try to run at this Medusa a bit more, but got a bit of a scenario happening here in the top lane. But Popo's going to TP in and just kind of push this thing back a little bit. It's starting to get pushed out quite a bit.
Looks like Slaymate just snuck in and grabbed the enemy XP.
He did. Yeah, really nice. Nice heads up play from Viper here, but hurting a little bit on CS at the moment. Doesn't quite have that item finished off yet. Well, just finishing treads actually at the moment.
Yeah, see, this is the what I was talking about in terms of like the kills affecting gold. Even Warlock is ahead of the Viper now, just because he was
Right,
participating in those in the first few kills.
right.
Gold or like fights in Dota 2 now are really kind of the centerpiece of getting gold. Farming's good and all, but team that's
You
engaging in
actually have
fights
to do
and
both.
yeah,
Yeah.
and winning fights is the team that's going to be pulling ahead.
And you know what? That's not a bad thing. I think that makes for great Dota.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody
I
wants everyone
actually
just sitting in the jungle and idling.
no, and the thing is, they've made the changes over time that have not been a complete. There's been some shocks to the system, but I think it's been rolled out in a really good way. I think this is one of my favorite patches. In all
Mhm.
honesty, I love what they did.
Yeah, me too.
And I gotta say, I love that it happened halfway through this awesome tournament that we're part of. Just made it more fun, made it interesting. Everyone had to deal with the changes at the same time.
Limits. Five
We're gonna get
heroes.
some action here.
They want this tower. They want to push it. Bit scary into a Medusa ult, but they themselves have some big team ults up already.
Yeah, and they've got the range to just kind of pick away at it here a little bit.
Lifestealer does have the gold for Radiance, but doesn't have the item yet. The finishing that item would make this team fight that much easier.
Shadow that shadow word on Lifestealer just oh gosh.
I think they're gonna back off. They're gonna wait for that Radiance. I think that's the right call. Then shifting mid, just applying the pressure into the jungle here. That's how No Limits plays. Just full tempo. Got the ult coming out. There is rock put down there, but CM Null, nice, takes down the Viper. Ravage though, coming out, taking out three heroes ultimately. X2 in some trouble here now though. Able to fly up, but the tombstone's giving vision on him. Able to take down the tombstone, he'll be able to fly out.
Wow. Nice play from X2. I didn't know he was gonna get away with that, but
Yeah, as the Echo Saber able to take down that tomb fairly quickly, has the vision advantage here. Yeah, but I mean, beyond the Ravage and the Rock, they don't really have a whole lot of ways to catch heroes and stun them and keep them where they are.
no, and if you look at it, Medusa's doing her thing. She's now pulled ahead in CS at least. And
Two heroes down
wow,
on the side of Five
big
Break.
pressure.
There's that Radiance just doing work onto these squishy heroes. Yeah, No Limits just setting up camp into the Radiant jungle. So in terms of itemization, what is Greg 5 really kind of holding out for here?
Hard to say. I think you're just trying to get those kind of core items that you typically get, right? Medusa desperately trying to finish up this Manta, which I think she has now. So I mean 19-minute Manta, nothing wrong with that. Um Probably Scotty. Um
Yeah, they definitely are kind of lacking a hero to stand in front right now. Like, Night Stalker can kind of do it, but not super great. The hero prefers to kind of just like skirt around the edges and fly over top and go to a back line. Not necessarily a great frontline hero.
no, and if you look over Clink's looking for that orchid. So it's just one of those items, I think it's just the usual stuff that you see. Um Ernest Shadow's coming out onto X2, who's looking to finish up a spirit vessel. I think that's a good shout there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Popo.
Eventually, you might see a halberd. Maybe you see a halberd come out on X2. Start to think about disarming a life stealer a little bit later on.
Mhm.
But I think Medusa's going to also need damage. So whether she goes tanky and gets that Scotty or just opts to go for Chrysalis and Daedalus. It's hard to say.
She's got a butterfly queued up. I think it's decent. Gives you that damage attack speed that you want from the hero. The evasion certainly helps to keep you alive against a lifestealer and a Viper.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Lifestealer really starting to farm up quite nice here. Radiance is finished up, and Sange is there, so
I
we'll
do
we'll see
find
the Sange in
X2
motion.
in his triangle.
Ooh, stun
Yeah,
comes out.
going in to try and catch, but really great lockdown. We do see Bea going for the anchor. That's going to help a lot to kind of secure some of these catches that they're getting.
Well, and this is the pattern, isn't it? No Limits, basically waits for the two big alts to be available, and then they start to roll. And they're just looking for that opportunity. Oh, wow.
Committing the Ravage for Praetor. Does have the invis now, but gets dusted and ooh,
Whoa, Praetor with a little move there, but not going
yeah.
to be enough. And this is very, very optimal for No Limits here. Only really having to commit the one alt, and they're happy to do it to pull this Clinks down. They still have the rock.
Big
Big Dad
Dad.
Energy is going to come in, pops ult. It's going to take some tower damage here. Doesn't have any decay stacks, so not really ready to be that big tank.
There's the anchor. Swap
Swap
out.
comes out, trying to save the Night Stalker, but he's going to go down. Popo goes down.
Yeah, that's 3 down inside of 5,
This is going to
Greg.
be a quick tower for No Limits here. And I think they're just going to push right here. They're going to take as much as they possibly can.
Their anchor out onto the clinks.
Lynx does not like to be anchored. He's still going to deal some damage here, but Bea just absolutely absorbing that. Medusa about halfway there, and this tombstone's kind of in a funny spot. It's going to go down quite easy. Yeah, I mean, Greg 5 will have some good high ground, but they don't want to be thinking about high ground defense at 23 minutes in the game, so
In a tricky
tough.
spot. In a tricky spot for sure.
You think, well, I want to pick off. Well, who are you going to pick off? That's the thing. These guys aren't going to be in a spot to be picked off. They're going to roll. They're going to roll as a crew. Um, but again, you
Slay
can
made
never
quite
count out. You
low.
can never count out a Medusa.
Do pick up a
Nice pick.
kill on the Viper.
Nice pick. We'll see if they want to look for some more.
Yeah. Limits.
Lad
Not
kind of
really respecting the Night Stalker nighttime here.
Waste Manager's got to be careful. Your Praetor trying to TP out. He's not going to be able to do it.
Anchor keeps him in
Oof.
place. Oh, now getting run down. Might not be. No. I was gonna say like swap the Night Stalker, but his nighttime's over. He'd get caught out there as well. And CM now, Greg.
Big trouble. And all of these kills going on the way of Waste Manager here on the Lifestealer, just oof, starting to become an absolute beast. He's got the two items that he absolutely loves to have.
I mean, like you said, there's only so many bans you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You miss Lifestealer, I mean, this is what you get.
Pick your poison. That could be it's a Dragon Knight or it's a Lifestealer. I mean, that's just how these games go right now. The map is progressively shrinking for Greg 5, and that just doesn't bode well for Medusa, who's just going to need to try to catch up here. Wants to finish this butterfly. One claymore away from doing it. So it's a tough spot to be in where you're like, guys, I need more time, and you hope maybe Clinks and the rest can get a pick off, but Oof, Prater is in a really, really precarious spot here.
Yeah, getting anchored in
Dealing
the
a ton of
same
damage.
spot.
He's gonna get the pick, but he'll go down for it.
He did get the Undying twice.
He did. He did, and in a way, it's not the worst thing in the world because it does kind of buy you a little bit of time and slow the tempo down.
Yeah.
Allow your
I
heroes
think
to
he's
farm a little
doing
bit.
kind of like what Clinks needs to be doing at this point. Sneaking around, finding those single kills that you can get, and ultimately delaying the Dire team from pushing up onto this high ground.
Yeah, it's time. You're just trying to buy some time as much as you can. They're going to be looking at Roche here. Um, no limits. Looking to kind of take this objective. It's going to take a little bit of time here. I don't think it goes down too quick. Hard to say if Greg 5 is going to want to respond to this at all.
Need some more poison attacks. There we go. Yeah, Viper, you got to throw out those Qs. What is the
Yeah, this is a pretty abysmal Roshan, I've got to say. Sorry.
yeah,
I guess they feel like they've got the time, but you got to imagine Greg 5 kind of knows here.
yeah. Raiders scoping it
Raider might
out.
be going in. Oh, he's going to be too late to try to get the snag, but
Yeah, they see him.
oh
That's just
no.
unfortunate timing and kind of just walks into death there.
Oh, it's really too bad, but he's got to think they put a sentry down, right? All 5
Yeah,
heroes were there. It's a tough one.
it's going to be up to Rig 4 at this point, just for 25 seconds. Defend this high ground. Dusa does have the ultimate.
Not wasting any time. They're just going to try to take as much as they can.
Yep, there's the ultimate. That'll force a turnaround.
Ooh, bizarre swap there. Stone Gaze.
Now they're kind of just going to walk up, I think. They got the Ravage.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're like, yeah, go ahead, hit me. They're going to take a ton of damage before it really bothers them.
Lifestealer inside the Tide. They're looking for a Blink Ravage with the
He's
Lifestealer
got that
inside him.
blink now. Yeah,
This is
I think they're looking
where,
for the kill shot, and here it comes.
yeah,
Popo going to go down. Crystal Maiden pops the ult. She does have the glimmer. She's dealing some damage, but she's going to take massive damage and go down.
Raider
And
doing a
now
good job. Took
Medusa.
down 1 euro. Kind of looping to the back here, and between Dusa and Clinks, a good amount of damage.
Not too bad at
X2
all.
working that cliff plate movement.
Yeah, and they're just trying to gauge whether or not there's a go here. And they might just wait for him to split up. Prater looking for that pick, seeing if they're gonna.
I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed of how well that like the reaction was on that. That the no limits didn't get much out of that at all. Like they got the
No,
CM, but good reaction on their movements there. I think they kind of like squished them in and didn't really give no limits any sort of gain there.
no, I think they're really kind of, they're showing that we've got a high ground. Don't think you can come in here. They're protecting these towers and buying themselves that time. Medusa's still well within range to eventually catch Lifestealer, despite the kill advantage here. I mean, Waste Manager is 10-0, 10-0 and 4 right now. So Medusa doesn't have a single kill. So this game is at that 30-minute mark. We'll see. We've seen it before where Medusa just kind of hits that. They start to win a couple team fights and starts to jump ahead in a way that you can't catch.
Who
Volley
said
comes out, it's gonna miss.
they're gonna
This next
try on
fight is
this
gonna
high
be,
ground again? No
yeah,
Ravage. They do have the rock.
15 seconds for Night Stalker's ult here. Could pop that Dark Ascension and start to make a a bit of a play. Praetor's got to be careful, but also just sort of try to pull these guys away and create a little bit of more space, a little bit more time for Uranium Heart to just, well, finish off this Scotty. It's going to take a little while.
An AC on Lifestealer. It's a good pickup for against a Medusa.
Great item. Yeah, this lineup really benefits. About a minute left on the Aegis as well. So you gotta think No Limits might be looking to make that big push up the hill here. Tombstone comes down, Waste Manager walks up,
Like
stun
Dad
comes out
Energy
from
wants to get
Popo,
this started.
and now the
He goes in with the Ravage. They're going to take down the Vengeful Spirit. Night Stalker in some trouble, but being backed up by the
big Stone
Medusa.
Gaze.
There goes the
Damage coming
Rock.
out from Praetor, but these guys are tanky. And that Lifestealer's got on top. Praetor's in a lot of trouble
Oh,
here.
nice dodges. Not going to be quite enough to get him out, though.
Bought some time, but it's going to be really tough for Medusa here. X2's going to run in. The only thing he can do... Oh, it's not enough damage from... Greg 5 doesn't have the damage right now.
That's Aegis expired, and a successful high ground push. They do take out the racks.
And they might take a little bit more. They may just get top here.
Just not quite enough items on this Medusa to really stop a full frontal push like that.
No, I didn't get enough time. It was exactly what No Limits needed to do.
Two racks down. Maybe a little more of a contest for this third one. If Greg
Going for it
5
though.
can.
Rock is not up. Ravage is not up, but they don't care. They're just going for it here. They're looking to secure these megas. Rage comes out, just gonna dodge that volley, and that's megas.
Medusa going forward with the Stone Gaze, able to catch out Waste Manager there, but just makes it into. No, he dies. He died. He died. He died.
Oof! Medusa was able to kind of hang in there. She took a lot of damage, but
I thought Waste Manager was getting out. It looked like it was just casting the Infest there, but it was down. But that is Megas.
I know, and I hate to say this, but wow, is it too little, too late? What a tough spot to be
I
in.
mean, Uranium Heart's queuing up the Hail Mary.
I see the Hail Mary queued up. I was about to comment on it. He's not far off from it. But
I mean,
what else do you do? What else do you do at this point?
Yeah. I mean, if there's any hero that can defend against Megas Wells, it's definitely Medusa.
Yeah, it just all went too quick. They were able to take so much real estate from them with that push, and yeah, that's what you get with these big ults and a lifestealer that's farmed up. That AC is I gotta say that's pretty darn good. That timing's pretty crazy, and now queued up the Monkey King bar. Kind of have that answer for Medusa.
Mhm. Yeah, they gotta find some way to either kite Waste Manager or stop him from right-clicking and healing. As this hero gets on top of any of their heroes, it's a bad day. What a diffusal bait on the Viper. It's an interesting one. It's stacking up that slow.
Yeah, I mean Viper really hasn't taken a whole lot off the map. Doesn't seem to need a whole lot of items. The diffusal, I don't know, seems to have worked for him, but
Oh, with the Medusa ult again to save their X2 there.
Yeah, might have been a little sooner than Medusa would have liked there, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Night Stalkers, I mean, Shiva's trying to reduce some of that healing, reduce some of that attack speed.
Popo in a world of trouble here. The rock comes down. Ravage comes down. Medusa gets caught on the edge of it. X2 gonna have to come in here and do everything he can to try to save Medusa. Is she gonna turn? She's looking just to heal up here and maybe get another shot at it. Praetor gonna go down here. Oh, this is probably it. Well played by both sides, but super solid outing from No Limits.
Yeah, we've been seeing this team just roll exactly how they just rolled in this game. Their drafting is just very like it's very precise. It's very high tempo, lots of meat, lots of early game. And a lot of the drafts that we're seeing against it just don't have it, just don't have the ability to stop that snowball.
No, and you gotta you look at it now and you go, okay, well, what could they have done? And honestly, maybe the Praetor pick is actually a sniper or something. I don't know, something major damage to try to take these guys out, and it was tough. It was a tough go. I think Venge was in it really tough and wasn't able to kind of. These aren't heroes you want to swap. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to have
eh,
to swap, like even just like swapping a teammate out to try and save them, you end up dying and then that they end up just running down that teammate as well. So it's like,
yeah, there's so few scenarios where it's going to be good,
yeah.
um, and that makes it really tough. And then the squishy nature of Crystal. Crystal wasn't really able to do a lot of the things, from a damage perspective. You got a Crystal that gets some farm and she can blink in and alt in a good spot on the map. These heroes are just going to absorb that.
Mhm. You really
And I
you
and
really kind of need heroes that like a lot of these heroes just kind of want to stand and fight where no limits, they just want to run at you. Right? I feel like a lineup can benefit from more mobility. Because
yeah.
if you're able to sort of kite those tanky heroes, then they're kind of left chasing you. If you can kite them and slow them, then I think you can start to kind of break up that snowball. I want to see a timber cell. I want to see a timber cell put no limits in their place.
Yeah, I think that would have been interesting for sure, and it might have done better. It's hard to say, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of things in that one, and it also comes down to some of the plays that were made and some of the coordination. Really from both sides. There was some nice plays from Greg Five as well, where they moved together really well, but each time they extended, No Limits was able to kind of exploit their extension and chase them down and answer back almost every time.
Hmm. Yeah. You can tell no limits very have their play style kind of dialed. They move together very well. You see Hector moving into that bottom lane right at the 10-minute mark around there. They kind of have these objectives in mind, and as soon as they get that little bit of momentum, they just leverage it the whole way. And yeah, it's very kind of tricky to play into. But I'm excited to see game two, see what Greg Five kind of adjust their lineup and see what they change up to see if they can then punch back and win against these guys.
Yep, absolutely. I'm not sure I'll be part of the cast links.
Yep.
As fun as this is, I might have to retire for the evening.
Produce. Always happy to have you. Thanks
Thank you.
for.
Thank you, sir. This was a blast. That was really, really fun.
Hmm.
Looking forward to our games tomorrow. We'll see if
Yeah, this should be good. Trying to do a
um
rematch against The Last of Us.
yeah.
We'll have it in the bag.
Yeah, well, I'll try to brush up a little bit and we'll have some practice games beforehand. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks everyone for
All right.
watching. I'm gonna give it a 5 minute break and then we'll be back for game two.
Good night, everybody.